Before we jump right into making a simple augmented reality recognition app, I'd like to mention that the technology I'll be using is the Wikitude SDK 6. The Wikitude team and the Think Influencer team has given me a free demo of their technology, so I'm really grateful for that. But all the good and bad points that I bring up during the video are my own, and it's just really a choice. Do you want to be using this, or do you want to be using Vuforia in the end? Welcome guys, welcome back to a new video on augmented reality. So today we're going to be taking a look at another SDK, another augmented reality SDK that is going to help us track our images. It's going to help us do a bunch of things, but really the thing that stands out for me is that, well, first we're using the native Android camera, which is, you're going to have the sharpest image you can. It has a really cool target manager, and I just find it really easy to use. So let's jump right into it. So the name of this SDK is called Wikitude, and today we're going to be taking a simple look at how to make a recognition application with Wikitude. So I'm here over on the website, and simply wikitude.com. We need to have an account. We need to actually have the SDK as well. So you just go under developer, and then you have the documentation, the videos, all that kind of stuff. We're going to be right here most of the time, and then you need to download the Wikitude SDK. So it's something I've already done, but basically they have a special package for Unity. So here it is. I'm going to download it again just to show you how I go about importing this. The download is about 150 megs, so while it's downloading, I'm actually going to start a new project. Again, a fresh project, not importing anything else, just create that. And the download is currently done. So let's pull that over. Here it is, Wikitude Unity. I'm going to extract here just to get the package. And once you have it, all you have to do is double click on package and then double click on the actual Unity package. Now at this point they're gonna ask you what is it that you want to import, and for me, well, we'll need the plugin iOS. I don't really do iOS, but we'll keep it anyway. Streaming asset, we don't need this one. Actually, just keep the folder name. We're gonna need the folder name. I can't just keep it. Okay, let's remove streaming asset. We're gonna create it manually later on. Now in the Wikitude folder, you want the dependency, you want the editor. You don't really, actually you do want the prefabs. The sample is the one I don't want. So sample is like the most heavy folder. It contains a lot of example that you should actually look through if you want to have some more information about it. As you can tell, they have some more scene out there. All the scenes are ready, so you just double click on it and you see how they've done it. The code is open for you to look at. And yes, so I don't really need the samples. I'll just uncheck them and it's gonna just give me what I need basically. Alright, so now comes the time to actually do one of the two things. So we have two options. Either we start by doing the target, so we create our target, what is it that we want to detect in the real world, or we go ahead and we set up the scene. I will start with the target because I want to show you the target manager. So let's actually have a look. We have to go back on the internet here. I'm on targetmanager.wikitude.com, but in case you get lost, you go under developer here on their main website, and then you go under target manager. So once you're under here, as you can tell, I already have something right here in the n3lib. That's my project folder. So you just do add project. You just create the project name, and then you go under n3lib. That's my project. Add a target. I had a cat here earlier on. I'll just put it back. So I've got this nice book cover that I also have in the real life. Yes, I am the proud owner of this book. Amazing book. It has basically no words in it, only pictures and few words, I guess. I didn't really read it. I look at the prettiest images, so that counts, right? And yeah, so once you have your target, click upload. It's gonna give you a rating whether it is a good detection rate or it's not. So 1 star is okay, 2 star is good, then 3 star is obviously super good. If you have 0 star, you might actually want to change your target or just try to make it a little bit clearer. So once we have this, and now you're gonna have like multiple of those, you just import everything you need on there. You could also have 3D models on there, but I'll get into that a little bit later on. So all the images you need, put them on there, and then you have to download the WTC file. I'm not quite sure what it stands for, but we're gonna go ahead and click on this little button right here, and it's gonna actually send it to you through email. So I'm gonna have to fetch that on my email real quick. So I've opened up my email. I have the tracker.wtc on here, and I'll just make sure to go in Unity, this version, why not, and we are going to actually just put it inside of the system right here. Now, how exactly do we go about doing that? We can actually just drag and drop this, I believe. So let's go on the download, drag and drop this right here. This is, however, not going to work. We have to create a folder that contains this thing first. So we're gonna go and create, and now this is where we need the streaming assets folder. Put that in here, and I think I typed that properly, and if I didn't, it's gonna give me an error later on. But we have now our tracker. I'm also going to save the scene for game. Something really cool with Wikitude is that you can actually have a look at your targets in the engine as well. While you're actually working with Unity, you have an interface that you can actually add and remove target. You don't always have to go on your website and get it from there through email, because that's a little bit friction, that's a little bit annoying. You can go on the window, WTC editor, and as you can tell, we have my streaming asset tracker, and it's right here with my image. How amazing! You could go ahead and add some more image in here, but I don't have any other images. And once you're done, you just hit save, apply. Now you have your new WTC file, which is used for tracking the images. So once this is completed, we're gonna go ahead and start setting up the scene. Fairly simple. We're gonna go under Wikitude, prefab, and we're actually going to drop the Wikitude camera. Once you have the Wikitude camera, you don't need your actual main camera anymore, so I'm going to get rid of that. I'm going to be putting it in the center of the world, as I always do, and then let's just quickly have a look at the settings. So camera resolution, let's put that on auto, so well, you also have full HD. That sounds really cool, but of course it's gonna cost more on your CPU and my phone. Even though I have a really good phone, whenever I do something with AR, it goes hot really fast. Like it turns super hot. So sometime I guess you could put SD, but I'll just leave it on auto. I'll leave that to them. They probably know better what is better for my phone. So okay, let's actually have a look at the rest of the option right here. We need to have an image tracker. We need to have an image tracker so you can actually find our cat picture. And under trackable right here, you're gonna find your image. It actually automatically detected the tracker file, the WTC file, because I put it in the right folder, named this properly. In case you don't actually want to use a WTC file, you can also use the cloud, and we'll get more into that a little bit later on. But basically it's the same exact thing. However, when you load your images, you use a custom URL. Actually no, you don't even. You go under cloud recognition services, and then they give you a token on the website that you can use. So basically everything is almost always done for you. It's like super cool. You don't even have to worry about that kind of stuff. You just input your token, and it's gonna fetch your cloud database of all your images. So in my case, I don't want to be on cloud. That's just, I'm not ready for this. I'm just making a simple app to recognize my book. So I'm gonna leave that on target collection resources. Make sure it is my tracker.wtc file, the one I've created earlier with my cat in it. And if I go under trackable, you're gonna find him right here. I can also click on preview, and you're gonna see him in the actual engine itself. Now when I do find my cat, since it's a simple trackable image, let's actually just create a empty under that. I'll put a text. That's gonna be like a 3D text in the real world. It's gonna be super amazing with a text mesh, which is not really good looking. You could have a 3D model, you could print your own text, that would be better. But you know, any object you attach to this is going to be tracked with the actual cat itself. And by cat I mean book. I'm just going to rotate this so I can actually have this text pop up over my my book when I see him in the real life. Having trouble with this right now. Okay, so let's put that on like 90 degrees. And it's a cat that says read me now. Okay, cool. Middle center, why not? Put that here. Just recenter everything, make sure everything looks good. And I will also be adding some kind of awful cube object behind it to act as like some kind of background. Why not? It's gonna give us a little bit more depth while we look at it in the real world as well. I'll also be putting another material on it. I'm just really just trying to create something. Of course, if you have your custom material, if you have your custom models, I really recommend you use them instead of me doing that random stuff. Okay, so something like that. Read me now. Blue is better. Alright, so we're going to give this a test run, and what I mean by that is we're going to go under build settings, we're going to go under Android, switch the platform, add the game scene in there as well, go under player settings, we are going to change the company name for N3K, the product name is going to be Cat Recognition Software. That sounds really official. And then if we go under publishing settings, we need to have, sorry, not publishing, other settings, we need to make sure that we have a package name, a bundle identifier, so com N3K cat book. I'm really being consistent right here. Nice, let's hit build and run. Going to call this build. Make sure that your device is actually plugged in. In my case, it is right here, plugged in. Actually, you can't see it because it's plugged in, but that's my device. Alright, so we're running the game right here. First thing it does is ask us for permission to use the actual camera, and that's fine. Ask us for permission to use the files. That's also fine. Now we have the nice made with Unity screens, and it comes with a license key is missing. That's right, we're missing a license key. We didn't go get a license key. So I'm back on the website. I'm gonna go under developer and then get the license down here. We have the trial license download key. It's a text file. Amazing. Let's copy all of this and put it inside of our Wikitude camera. So under the Wikitude camera, there is the Wikitude camera component, and then the license key. We're going to paste it in here. Hit apply, and I'm quickly again going to build to my phone. Hopefully it has a little bit better detection. I also have to plug it back in. Let's do that real quick. Alright, so I quickly changed the color of this to a nice black like that. It's going to be a little bit clearer to see. And yeah, that's not the point. Basically, I've got my license key. Let's go ahead and build this, see what happens on the actual device. So build settings again, build and run. Alright, so it's back right here with my really dusty computer. Let's actually have a look at this book. Whoa, read me now. Okay, so obviously we do have some glitches. It takes a little bit while before it gets the tracking right, but once it does, like once it actually does get the tracking right, this is pretty solid. Like I can actually dance around with this, and it feels like it's gonna keep on tracking it, even with this kind of angle. It's still actually tracking it. Oh, now it lost it, but it's really like that's really a steep angle for tracking stuff like that. Let's go ahead and actually have a look at more of the workflow, how to actually integrate code to this thing. The big advantage I found this SDK to have over Vuforia is really the way you just integrate code to it, because they have some events, like when your image pops, they have some event that you can actually hook yourself to. If we click on the Wikitude camera, you're gonna see that this one has a on-camera failure event right here. So if you actually don't manage to open up the camera, you can actually link a function right here and it's gonna do something. So cancel operation, don't load the game, do stuff like that basically. And under the image tracker, this is for your library. So were you able to download your images from the cloud? Were you able to actually connect to the cloud? Was there any problem? You have all of these right here. So is it done loading? Is there an error? And then once you target are done loading, or if you have error loading target. So basically all the options are really just there. All you need to do is create an object with a script on it, and we'll do it really quickly. Empty game object, call this manager, and have a manager script to it. A brand new C# script. On this one you can have multiple function, and you'll have your entry point for those kind of events. So if you're not able to actually start the game, you can go ahead and just create a function for that. So let's do a public. Let's make sure it's public because you have to access them from the inspector. So public void cancel game, something like that. So basically, if you failed to open up the camera, let's exit. So that's one of the options. You do a application.quit, why not? And all you have to do is head over to whatever point you want to go, like add. So basically when the camera fails to open, you're going to choose the manager, drop that in here, and then find your function. So cancel game. So if we're not able to actually start the game on my application right now, what it's going to do is simply quit the application. Now this one is not really fun to use, the on-camera failure, because that's a failure option. Let's go down here on the actual trackable image itself. As you can tell right here, you can actually do something when you see that specific image. So I'm going to create function like that. Let's go under right here, do a public void on enter vision, and then you do something when you enter vision, public void on leave vision. Or that one doesn't really matter, does it? Well, it does matter depending on what kind of logic you want to go full. In my case, what I want to do is so my actual cube at the top doesn't just pop up like this. I'd like to make it scale up gradually. If I lose vision of this, well, basically I won't see the cube anymore, but that's that's not going to do anything if I lose vision of it. But if I enter vision, I'd like it to scale up slowly. So I'll actually keep a reference to it. Let's do a public game object. Should I do a transform or a game object? Cube panel. I'll have a quick look at how we can go and implement that. So that's my game object right here. That's my panel object. Can we just do this? Yes, we can. We actually take the text with it as well. So if I head back here, once we enter vision, we're going to keep track of the time. So private float enter vision time. And then we'll also have an update right here. So private void update. When the book enters vision, we're going to say enter vision time is equal to time.time. This way we can keep track of when exactly it did. And then we can keep some kind of countdown from that point. So we're going to say float time since seen time.time minus enter vision time. So this is going to give us how long it has been since we saw the object. So if it has been, say, more than 1 second, so if time.seen time since seen is bigger than 1, then we're not going to do anything else. Actually, let's do the other way around. So if it's smaller or equal to 1, we are going to say cube panel local scale is equal to, say, new vector 1, actually just vector 1 dot 1 times time since seen. And else cube panel local scale is equal to vector 1. Just like this, that is going to run in a update loop. It is on the manager, so that's going to work. This is not going to work just yet because we have not linked it. So let's go under the trackable object. Let's add the on enter vision. So right here, I'm going to put in the manager and then find our function, which is on enter vision. And I'll actually be building this to my phone. Let's swap over to the phone. Let's have a look at this on the actual device itself. So I will be starting a camera on here. So it's starting right here, made with Unity. I'm gonna have this small glitch again. Yeah, I don't like that glitch. And then let's have a look at this. Whoa, read me now. Let's move away. Look at it again. You're gonna read this book right now. Let's go ahead and do it. Wow, amazing. If you must barf, do it on the rug. One of the cool things they also offer is the fact that you can actually transfer your model file, so your FBX file, your 3ds Max file, into some kind of readable format for your camera. So you could be tracking something that moves, even something with bones and animation on it. So that was really, really cool, and I wanted to give it a try, which I did, and I tried. So I found an object in my house that I thought I could reproduce, and I pulled out my art skill, put all my effort into making this object. It was an egg, so I made an egg in 3ds Max. I exported it, used their 3D encoder, which is on their website somewhere right here. 3D encoder, they have a special tool for it. I've used it. It exported my file as a WT3, which is what this thing is supposed to take, but it didn't really work. I could not get the file in the target manager, so this is really, well, all I have to say basically is that I've tried. It just didn't work out. Hopefully they fix this quite soon. So one thing I did not like about Wikitude is the fact that I could not actually test using this webcam, the one you're actually looking through right now, or I'm looking through right now. It's the one plugged in my computer. So basically what it means is if you try to run the game instead of the editor itself, you're going to get this nice message right here that says the current platform, Windows, is not supported by Wikitude, which is true, and it kind of sucks. So that's pretty much it for today, guys. We did not go into making a really complex application. We simply did some image tracking, which is basically what we've done for Vivolia as well. So if you do want to go further with this, if you do want to learn more, I really suggest that you do import the samples we saw earlier in the Wikitude package. So this thing right here, I really do suggest that you import it. You have a look at what you can do. There's a bunch of things you can do that I did not cover, of course. This is a complex plugin. It is way more complex than just image tracking. It actually does some markerless stuff as well. They have a technology called SLAM, which is really cool as well. You should look into it if augmented reality is something that really interests you, and I really suggest that you look into it. Just at least open up the scenes and have a look at what they do. So guys, this is actually where I'm going to end today's episode. Thank you so much for watching, and as always, I will catch you soon.